Hmm?
Did you make it so it won't echo?
Still setting up. I said something about being live already. Gosh. Be just a moment. We'll get going here. All right. Now it looks like we're live. Well, okay. Well, welcome everybody to Mappy Hour. This is our happy hour for those of us who love maps, also known as geocachers. So welcome everybody. Um, cheers. We made it. It's another Friday.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, looks like we've got folks chiming in the chat already, letting us know where they are from. And I guess I should let you all know who we are and where we're from. So I'm Lisa, Lookout Lisa from Cache Advance, and I am your host tonight. And this is our other host.
I'm JD, Kid Vegas 19.
Yeah, and we are broadcasting from our home office here in Spokane, Washington State in the United States. And Zoom keeps changing things, so I'm trying to catch up here. I have to let everybody in one at a time. And it looks like maybe your cameras were turned off as well. So love to see you guys. If you want to turn on your cameras, be sure to do so. But do keep yourself on mute while we're getting, while anybody else is talking. So that's part of what we need to do to keep this moving along so we don't talk over each other. So our topic tonight is Earth caches and how things are changing with them, and some interesting ideas and things that Scott actually brought up to us, GSM times two. But before we get to our topic, we do want to hear notes from the field. I'd love to know what sort of caching y'all have been up to, or planning, or scheming, that sort of thing, since we have met last, which has been a couple of weeks. But however, before we get to that, I do have a few ground rules as to how to keep our Mappy Hour moving along nicely. Like I mentioned before, please keep yourself on mute to allow everybody a chance to speak that wants to. And if you do want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand if you're in the Zoom room, like Lori has done. We'll be calling on her first, looks like. And if you are watching us on YouTube, hey, our YouTube friends and family, JD, Kid Vegas 19 is monitoring that. So yeah, so go ahead and put in a comment there, and he will go ahead and then bring that into the conversation. However, if you have something that might answer a question or relate to something that has just been talked about and you're out of order, just please wave quickly at the camera so we can bring you on if you're able to answer a question or have a particular comment in relation to somebody else. And of course, keep everything family friendly. Might have kids in the rooms with us. We are live streaming to our YouTube channel, and then that will be recorded and uploaded to our Mappy Hour hub that we have. I think that covers.
Yeah, and maybe for those people that have been affected by the hurricane,
Yes.
and you can give a little report how you were affected and how you're doing. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'd love to know for sure. So we can definitely include that into our notes from the field. Yeah, want to hear what's happening out there, and we're really hoping that everybody is staying safe. We've been watching it here in the news. We're all the way on the other side of the country, but definitely seeing a lot of impact for a lot of people. So let's go ahead and jump to our notes from the field. So please keep yourself to 2 minutes, and that'll allow everybody a chance to chat, and then we can move on into our topic. So Lori, looks like you are having a nice little bonfire. What's going on?
I am up in Carnation for the Nightmare Incarnation by Sir Carp and Tinkerbell.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, there's quite a few of us here camping, and others will be just coming up for Saturday's event only and doing a passport. So yeah, so I thought I'd torture all out here, having enjoying a campfire.
Yeah.
Looks super peaceful.
It is very peaceful. Actually, we were just getting ready to go walk over. Literally on the other side of that fence is a cache,
No.
but we can't go right over the fence, so we have to walk around on the trail.
Oh.
Walk off our dinner, I guess.
Mhm.
There you go. Perfect.
What other famous event happened in Carnation? Do you know?
No,
Geo
not off the top of
Woodstock.
my head.
Geo Woodstock.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie and Dave are here too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Came full circle.
Maybe they still have the logbook. You can sign it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll ask.
Well, have a great time. Be sure to say hi to the hosts for us.
Mhm.
We provided some trackables for them, so
Oh,
we're
cool.
excited to hear how well they are received. They're really
Mhm.
cool. Yeah,
Sort of an annual tradition, so that's pretty
it
cool.
is. It is. Yeah. And those of you in
Yeah,
the
it is.
comments might be seeing them again. Cool. Well, thanks, Lori. Have a great
Not a
time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So we've got Melissa and then Al
Oh.
Uncle Casher next. So Melissa, go ahead.
Yes. So I haven't heard from family in Florida yet, but I have family in Atlanta and they lost power for a couple of hours, but actually have it back and are fine. And Going Caching posted that things were damp but fine there. And that's Rome, Georgia.
Mhm.
So that is what I
Oh,
know.
there we go.
And I am on track for hitting cash 2000 at Going Caching.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to celebrate that
Mhm.
on Saturday. Geez, a week from tomorrow.
yes.
Yeah.
I'll probably get it at one of the early events.
Okay. Well, let us know.
Yes. But we can
Excellent.
celebrate it on Saturday.
Well, that too.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, we can sure do that.
Cool. It's going to be a fun event. Yeah, I saw Andy had posted, or somebody had posted on the Going Caching Facebook group that they were just damp and it should dry out and be a lovely week for all the going caching activities.
Mm.
Cool.
Cool. So hiking seals on track for 19,000 at the event.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now we know two people with round number finds. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Milestones.
Mhm.
Cool beans. Good work, Chris. That's amazing. All right. Well, thanks, Melissa. I think we've got Al up next. Uncle Casher. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I have been missing a lot of these lately. Probably noticed, and it's good to be back. Uh, and I did miss all you folks and all the conversation, but well, I guess you know how it is. Life sometimes gets in the way, and so we have priorities we have to take care of. I have a brother in Orlando, and I called him today, and he said they didn't. They got rain and some wind, but it wasn't really that bad in Orlando.
Okay.
I have a sister in South Carolina. They had lost power and had quite a bit of rain, but she was just fine. And here in Cincinnati area, we've had a lot of wind and rain today. The rain we're thankful for because we've been in a drought all summer. And this week, I think they tried to make up for the whole summer. we have even before the hurricane weather got here today. Earlier this week, we had a couple of inches of rain at our place, and so we've gotten a lot of rain. But there was also a lot of wind. Uh, Mostly, we've had some trees down, which has taken power out our power went off and came back on, and went off and came back on, went off and came back on. I mean, it was just out for literally less than a minute, about 4 or 5 times today. But anyway, we fared pretty well. We didn't get any damage around here close to me. Most of the damage, at least that I heard reported, was actually up in Ohio. And as you know, we're just across the river from Cincinnati here in Kentucky. So most of the damage was up in Ohio, I think. Very little of it here in Kentucky. Anyway, that's about it. Just glad to be back, and glad to be back in with the group.
I'm glad you're back.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thanks for all the report. I like what Mike said. Life is what happens while you're making other plans. Absolutely. I think we've got Jim Stark next. Trying to find the unmute. I can see. Sometimes if you're on your phone, just tap it towards the bottom of the screen. It's how it is on my phone. Okay. Well, let us know when you find it. We do have Vince up next then. So go ahead, Vince, while Jim is working his mute.
Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot of caching the last few weeks. I ended up missing the last meeting because work got in the way. We've been severely shorthanded at work, and I work at a high school, and it happened to be homecoming night, so it was pretty busy. But I did attend a couple CETO events and attended another event. One of the CETOs, the first CETO actually was my 50th CETO.
Wow.
So yeah, that, and then placed a couple other caches, and that was about it. My daughter getting married next Saturday, so I've kind of had to curtail my geocaching activities a little bit. And I already got my warning about no bushwhacking caches because I'm extremely vulnerable to poison ivy. And apparently the bride to be does not care to have her dad break out in a massive rash. So I probably got to settle for any LPCs or Adventure Labs this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things we do for weddings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for the report, the update. Looks like Jim has got his sound.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay! Yeah, I'm not used to doing this phone stuff. So, anyways, I wasn't supposed to be here today because I had planned a 3-day visit to Kings Island Amusement Park. Speaking of Cincinnati, a few minutes ago, so I went down to Cincinnati, and unfortunately, because of all the storms, they closed the amusement park tonight. So I am not at the amusement park right now. I'm in my car, ready to go to sleep. There, you can see the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have it all. My nice new car with the
Yeah.
new setup. So I thought, well, I'll join and see what I can do here. And a little trouble doing it, but because of the fact that I wasn't at the amusement park this evening, I did get an additional 6 or so unplanned caches today that because I had time. So
Exactly.
I did that before, even until it got dark, until I had to come here to get set up so I could join the meeting. So I quit caching for that. So, so hopefully the weather will be good enough that tomorrow and Sunday I'll be able to enjoy the amusement park. We'll see.
Yep. It should be. I think so.
This is a fast moving story.
Yeah,
It's just huge for sure. Helena's just huge. Well, I'm glad that you have alternatives.
Yeah, even though even if it is kind of still drizzly or something, that's actually sometimes a good time at the park because it lessens the crowds. If it's off and on rain. So that might be a good thing if it is raining a little bit, as long as it's not enough to shut down the park.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't want any lightning.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
anyways,
Okay, well,
Just-
stay safe, have fun.
Yeah.
yep. No,
Thanks for
no,
dialing
thank you.
in.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
minute. Bye.
Bye. I think we've got Scott's hand up next. Go ahead, Scott.
So yeah, hit a few caches, found a few caches. I think the one thing that most significant was I had an Adventure Lab credit, and was able to put together an Adventure Lab of 5 unique boutique hotels in Ojai, California. And it it turned out, I think, well. I took my beta testers out with me, and they didn't have any trouble doing it. And they're good beta testers because they don't read anything. And so if they can do it, anybody can do it. And in the process, I made a little video. And if anybody's interested, there's my little 3.5 or 4 minute video. But yeah, so good time. Had been a good 2 weeks, and that's it for
Excellent.
me.
Well, that's awesome.
Mhm.
We love boutique hotels. So if we ever get down your way, we're going to definitely have to check out your lab adventure.
And some things are hard to break. Some
Yeah.
habits are hard to break.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Cool.
Take care.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks. Yeah. So did we get a little bit of caching in?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a first to find. Yay. Finally got a first to find in our neighborhood, actually. Just happened to look at my email. It was evening time after dinner, getting dark. Actually, it was dark.
Yeah, it was dark.
Yeah, yeah. And like, oh, there's a new cache less than a mile away. And I was just getting ready to go out for a walk, but because it was an FTF, we're driving. We're gonna get there as quickly as we can. And we did manage to get FTF on it. Although I think I may have neglected to log it. So I have to catch up on my logging. Sorry, guys. But you logged the
I
FTF.
logged it, yeah.
Yeah, so I knew we were okay. 'Cause that is kind of a controversy if you log FTFs right away or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So ours was the appropriate amount of time when I got back home. I logged it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Although I didn't log it on the computer, I still use my phone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, for FTF.
Well, the drafting and
Mhm.
with Joe Go, it's easy to do it that way. So
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I think we got Melissa's hand up again, and then Charles.
Yes, I forgot. When Scott mentioned Adventure Lab, the crew putting together Geo Woodstock for next year has a special plan for some Adventure Labs. So they're looking for donations.
Yeah.
So if you have an Adventure Lab you're willing to donate to them, they would be thrilled, because I got a hint that I'm not allowed to share of what they're going to do with them, but it sounded really cool. So they do actually have a plan. And then
Okay.
you mentioned first to finds, and I actually got a couple of first to finds this week. I'm trying not to go out and do much caching because, I want
Yeah.
2000 to be in going caching. But we have a covered bridge festival in the area that happens over a couple of weekends. And a cacher put out a bunch of caches, and by bunch, probably about 10, at some of these covered bridges. And, I was down in the area and they had been there like 4 or 5 days and no one had gone after them.
No.
So I was like, oh, these are lonely. I must find. So I did it on 2 different days, and I did 2 of them because, again, I don't like to be a first to find hog. I like to let other people have that opportunity too. So
Well, that was very thoughtful of
Mhm.
you. Yeah, to even spread that out after days. So really, I don't
Yeah.
think it was
Mhm.
being a hog. Yeah, well, gave me a good idea about the adventure labs. I have an idea what they're probably doing if has anything to do with that last time I saw you. because I have an adventure lab, a couple of credits, but I also have one that it's run its course.
Right.
So you can redo an old one and give it all new coordinates and such. So maybe I'll do that because it would be literally across the country from us. Let
Look
them
into
know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Right. Charles and then Megan.
So I'm back after a few missed episodes. Been bit. Guess I've been pretty busy and things like that and everything. Last get together, I was at a big event in near Guelph, Ontario. That's called GAGAFAP. GHAGAFAP. It's a big family picnic, annual picnic. And this was, I guess, now becoming the next to last, announcing it next year's as the finale. So I'm not sure if the finale of the person organizing it right now, and it's going to continue with somebody else, or it's going to be the end of it. They're also changing weekends, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But so busy there, and lots of adventure labs, lots of friends that GeoArt completed and found. So been able to get a lot of the souvenirs, help out to get the cosmic 15 million billion fuel cells that was needed. Attended a couple of events. After the event on Tuesday, cash comes out and part of a series to keep Jasper's going in Ottawa. So went in and I was got the first to find on that one. Now I'm probably preparing depending on the weather and depending on what if Atlanta and Georgia and Florida can keep the weather down there, and I'm sending to New York State, go out to get some caches of maybe a big GeoArt out in on the New York, New Jersey border. It's I love New Jersey. I think that's what it's called, and that's the plan. We've got a new joined the organizing committee for a new big event next year. It's going to happen in September. More to come in as we go. Finally got published this week, yesterday. Sorry, no, this morning, 27th, this morning. And I think by 12 o'clock or so, we had 50 will attends already. So it's going in the great directions to maybe get mega status. So hopefully we'll get mega status as opposed to a block party, but we'll see. But that's about it. Keep trying to stay out of trouble.
So at the big event you were at, you were the first one to log one of my trackables. I get the notification, and of course you just gave the initials of the event. And I'm saying, what the heck is that? And so
yeah, sorry.
Luckily, I got
can
about
actually go Google it and find out what it is.
yeah. Well, I got like 20 more notifications as people discovered this trackable, and some of them put in what it was, and yeah okay. Yeah.
So I was the first one. I got an FTF on your trackable.
At that event.
Oh, at that event. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which trackable was that?
It was one of the going fishing.
Oh, okay.
Go fish.
Go fish coins. Those are fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I thought I was the first who's
No,
that event.
That one's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's still getting around, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks. Good luck with the GeoArt. That should be fun. I think we've got Megan next. So, hey, Megan, good to see you.
Hey, I haven't been on in quite a while as I got a notification that my Zoom needed to update for all the current stuff. So Melissa, I'm approaching 5,000 and I'm hoping to be going caching the main event as my 5,000. So of course they have to put out a slew of souvenirs within like the week before or the week of. And I'm like, oh God, you're killing me because I have only like 50 caches to work with. And I have to include all the events, and then all the caches in going caching. So I'm like, you guys, it's just killing me. So hopefully, I mean, I'll be able to get to my 5,000. So, but I did complete my 365 and 366 calendar. So
All
I'm
right.
done with that challenge. And then of course, there's other challenges that come up that I'm like, okay, fine. Because you're close to completing them anyways. So, but yeah, but I'm just excited to get down to South Carolina and Georgia and get back into that area. So,
Yep. And we're leaving Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think you're headed out, what, Tuesday?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So get a day of rest and then back on the road to Rome.
All roads lead to Rome.
I guess.
That's next week. Awesome. Well, good. It's good to see you back. Yeah. And good luck holding yourself back so you can get that milestone where you want it.
Okay. Well, I think before we get into our topic, I want to just let everybody know that first to find we did.
Mhm.
That ran my first to find streak to 1. So
Yeah. Mine too. Yeah.
I'm gonna let them decide what the 1 is.
Yeah, okay.
Day, week,
Year. Oh, okay. 1 something.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Forever.
So, so our topic tonight was brought to us by Scott. And I know that he's had some good conversations already around this topic. So, Scott, if you would like to kick us off, that would be great. Go for it.
I would love to. So what kind of brought this up is I was listening to the Inside GCHQ podcast, and they talked to somebody from the GSA, and a very good podcast giving information about Earth caches, including some of their new changes. So I just put in the link to the podcast that they did so people can listen to it. And basically what they're discovering is Earth caches are really going down in popularity. They're significantly. Fewer people are putting them out, fewer people are finding them. And then one of the things that they found out is Earth cache descriptions are getting much longer. And they were like, okay, is there a correlation between the two? And and they think there are. So they put together some new guidelines for creating Earth caches. And these are the 4 things they kind of came up with. One, reminding people that they should be written at a 9th grade, or I would even think a lower level than that. Newspapers are written at the 5th grade reading level.
Really?
Yes. So, don't make them complicated. Don't require people to have a PhD to understand what's going on. The other thing they really suggested is stick to one topic. Don't start out with, hey, I'm talking about quartz, and we're going to talk about quartz. Oh, and by the way, quartz was made during this period of the Earth's formation, which happened to there's 7 periods of the Earth's, and this is how it happened. And the Big Bang occurred. And suddenly people are, going, blah, blah, blah. What's the questions? They also are suggesting that we do a maximum of 3 additional logging requirements. So just, ask three things. Don't have 8 or 10 or whatever. And try and make them shorter. I did an Earth cache one time back when I was using a GPS, and the description was so long that it utilized the entire capacity of the GPS, and I couldn't even get to the questions.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's a little discouraging. And then the final thing, or actually now the first thing, is to take those additional logging requirements and put them at the top, right at the front. And so people can look at them. They know what they're going to be looking at. It's an way to introduce the topic to them. And that's their suggestions. And then, I have a Tuesday night thing that I do, and we had this as a topic, and it was really a good topic. So I was interested in what people think about Earth caches. Do they have any suggestions, examples of good ones, what they like about them, some of what they dislike. And so that would be the topic of a conversation today. And thanks for letting me do the introduction.
yeah. There's a couple of great comments just in the chat. LA is saying that the GeoWare folks were asking them to make them longer.
The description.
Yeah. And Mountain Goat, Jim Mountain Goat 50 is correct. Says most people don't write the description; they copy and paste it out of a wiki and
or some other source. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have not even attempted to hide an Earth cache. I was surprised when you read one of the things is the descriptions are getting longer. I started caching in 2007 and I thought they were too long back then.
I sometimes think, wouldn't it be nice if they for Adventure Labs, they're limiting us now to 2,000 characters. Wouldn't that be kind of nice to do for Earth caches?
Absolutely. A little more than that. But,
maybe a little more.
I remember those days too, when GPS has only held so many characters in the description and it cut it off. So you couldn't complete it. You didn't know what the questions were to answer.
Yeah.
And you'd mentioned, write it to a level where you don't need a PhD to understand what's going on. And, I'm in the same vein, don't make it so long or so many topics that if I do this one, I'll be granted a PhD.
Right. and Lisa, could you go ahead and let me share a screen?
Oh yeah, sure. Hang on a moment here.
You're right. There you go. No. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oops. Okay, 1 second. I have to I have to get on my right screen.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's all just
I closed the window that I wanted to open.
I do that at work and I get accused of doing that on purpose, but
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so given these guidelines, I went ahead and created an Earth cache. And just as I described, put my additional logging requirements right in front. I think I also did something that I think is pretty good. The Earth cache is intended to be an educational experience. This isn't a test. Relax. If I'm asking for your observations, there are your observations. There's not going to be a right or wrong. If you do answer something technically wrong, I'll correct you on it, or I'll give you the correct answer. So that was kind of it. We're talking about quartz, and I'm bringing in this Mohs mineral hardness scale, which is which stones scratch which stones, and then we just get a little bit history on quartz. This probably is a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I did want to actually put in here some uses of quartz because I thought it was interesting because it's so abundant. It's used in watches and all kinds of things. So that was it. And the people who have done it have appreciated. Even some people who don't like Earth caches have appreciated this. So
Well, I like, based on what I've just seen there as we're scrolling by, the um each description of the types of quartz and then each description of the uses are nice and short.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Paragraphs.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Chat GPT can be your friend for shortening things. Honestly.
This was not written by ChatGPT,
Good, good.
but I will say my recent adventure lab, it helped a lot.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
He's a part-time employee,
Oh, geez.
Mr. Chat. We're here. Yeah, this is great. I
Yeah.
really like this. You've given me, I've never hidden an earth cache. It's one I've never done. So now that things have become a little more easier, I guess, and such, yeah, it'd be a fun thing to test out.
So yeah, and I like putting the requirements right up front. It's akin to my pet peeve of a like a coin challenge event or like the stuff we put on every summer,
Mhm.
where you need to find a series of caches, and each cache begins with what it is you're attending, and it's 5 paragraphs of thanking the people and all this and that, and then you get down to the bottom. It says, "Oh yeah, you're looking for the red one."
That should be at the top.
That should be at the top, and then
Mhm.
then the event that's common to all the cache, all that text can be at the bottom, and you can read it when you want.
Mhm.
But so that makes perfect sense to me. Putting that at the top of the
Yeah. And they haven't changed the requirements. You can still hide an earth cache basically anywhere.
You have to have visited there in the last either 6 months or a year.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can't do an earth cache on Mount Everest, for example.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Because you've been there. That was 2 years ago. You were there. Is that
That
right?
was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's another way to also get around the vacation rule. You can't just hide a cache while you're on vacation and then go home 1,000 miles away where you can't maintain it. Particularly earth caches,
Yeah,
there's
you
nothing
can.
physical hidden.
And the other thing unique about Earth caches is, I think it was 9 years ago. I was in Detroit for work and then met up with Daryl, DW4.
Yeah.
And he took me around. He's from the area, and there was a building that was an Earth cache because the stones were made out of limestone, and you could see fossils in them. And
We've
done some of
of
that.
those all around. Yeah.
But that's a really, it's a good thing. I like how the Earth cache people didn't say, well, that's a building. So no, it's not in the earth.
Yeah. But it's built from the earth. Yeah. Great.
And then if I could just add one more thing, and then there's also a unique opportunity. They recently, GCHQ contacted Earth cache owners who appeared to have been out of the game for at least 5 years. And they just said, would you acknowledge that you're still in the game? And gave them, I believe, 60 or 90 days to do that. If they didn't, they archived the Earth cache because you want active. So look around and see if there's any Earth caches that you've done that have now been archived, and then redo the Earth cache. It's an interesting place, and it has a history. I will tell you, I did that with and I did have to rewrite them. I couldn't just copy paste them. So I had to I called it revived and revised them. So yeah, and they turned out well. And so, so there are opportunities out there to see if you can create your own using a template that somebody else has provided.
Yeah, and it's a place that you've already visited and hopefully enjoyed, but unfortunately it was archived. But I understand the whole concept of refreshing the game board and bringing the earth caches into kind of a new standard.
Yeah. And it makes it a little more difficult to coach log when the earth cache owner is actually checking things out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's that too,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, because anybody can log them. Yeah.
And I'll admit to that, when on our cruises we've done a bunch of earth caches, and sometimes the requirements are hard, and or I don't understand them, and I'll look up the owner. If the owner hasn't been online in 5 years, I just send the answers and
hope for the best.
Yep.
Yeah. And you may or may not hear back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I have to give up the
Okay.
because we got Melissa's up there being
Melissa's
patient and waiting.
been very patient. Thank you.
Incredibly patient. Yeah. Well, thanks, Scott. Yeah, for kicking us off. So, Melissa, what's on your mind?
Well, I have an interest in earth caches because when I've done them, most of them were pretty neat. But yes, there have been some because I wanted to make sure I had an earth cache in a state when I was there. There were some I've looked at and they're just so lengthy and stuff. But when I was recently in Indiana, I did one and I'll post it in the thing. But I thought it was really interesting. It was in Elkhart, Indiana. And it was nice because, well, I was going for the oldest and it wasn't too far from there. But this park, they had a traditional, they had a virtual, they had this earth cache. So if you were looking to get a variety of different types of caches, they were all very close. Because that's the other thing with virtual and earth caches, they don't create a problem with the overlay with the traditional and stuff.
Yeah.
Proximity.
But this earth cache has been there since 07. I heard from the cache owner right away. Yep. And it was the confluence of two rivers, the St. Joseph, and I'm not remembering the second one right offhand, but what he wanted you to do, and he gave you very clear instructions about how you could calculate the flow of the different two rivers. And basically you kind of figured out a distance. I threw my notebook on the floor and walked 100 paces. And then I threw a leaf or a stick or something in, and I timed how long it took to go the distance. And he gave you the exact formula you needed to calculate it. It was so clear. And, the one river I had to do a farther distance, but I could visually tell one river was much faster than the other. But I did a calculation, and those calculations on any given day are going to vary depending on the flow of the river. So it's not like you're going to have, oh, I want this exact answer. He was like, oh, thank you for coming and doing my earth cache, and I'm glad you enjoyed it and stuff. And I think that needs to be part of the cache owner too. First, he's still maintaining his earth cache. I heard with him, it might have been 2 days, but I heard from him quickly. And well written, clear understanding. And yes, I do have a bachelor's degree in engineering, but I really thought it was very well written and I enjoyed it. And that's what I think earth caches should be, is you're seeing something interesting. And yeah, maybe you get an answer wrong. And I've gotten an answer wrong on an earth cache. And fortunately, all the cache owners I've ever had were like, oh, hey, well, not quite, but this is the answer, but thank you for coming and trying it. And yes, you get credit. And I think that's the fun of it. I had one I didn't do it, and that's because someone told me the cache owner was real picky about the answers. And I'm like, okay, not gonna bother with that one. But I think they're fun. but yes, there are ones I've looked at and went, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because it's just been too much. So.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to remember if I've run into a picky answer acceptor or not.
I have.
No.
Yeah, I had done an earth cache and I was traveling, so it wasn't anywhere near home, and got the answer wrong, and they deleted my find, and didn't provide me any more information. Just try again. And honestly, this was a long time ago, so it really kind of turned me off to earth caches, and I don't think I ever went back because I was never in that area again to go and figure out what the right answer was. So that was really frustrating.
Just want to intervene before we move on to let everyone know that Houston, Texas Dave is in YouTube. He says hello all, and safe travels to Rome, Georgia.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, Dave. Good to see ya.
Let's see, we got Vince, then Sean.
Yeah, go ahead, Vince. Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why too, that it kind of, I used to not mind earth caches, but a lot of them just have gotten so overly wordy, and especially like if you're on the road and you're out caching and stuff, a lot of times you might run into an earth cache that takes you over a half hour to complete because it's like you gotta read a college novel or whatever. A lot of times when I go out of town, I'll try and look for the older ones that start like with GC1, that it could be an erratic or an artesian well, because I do got a temp sensor in my toolbox and a pH tester, that it's a laser thermometer. So a lot of them like look for ones that, hey, they want you to take a temperature of the water, or, test the pH level, or, one of those where, you got to measure flow rate or something. But then if I do one too, I also look for the ones that, they will accept a photo. So like, even if you watch the answers and make it look like you don't even know what the heck you're talking about, just take a photo at the site, and then I've never had an issue. But that's why a lot of them, that's why I kind of gotten turned off from them, because they're so overly wordy. And I used to have my daughter with me a lot of times. She'd come with me, and then she'd be the one that she'd be researching the answers and all that stuff that we would have to send in, so that kind of helped.
Yeah, it's
because especially a lot of times the earth cache would have been on a topic that she probably just got done studying in school, because she was just out of high school. So she knew not a lot more about the topic than what I did.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then of course the next guy that's going to get called on, he'll probably also verify how much I just love earth cache. Oh, he's smiling because we're basically backyard neighbors.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, thanks, Vince.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll go to Sean.
Yeah, good segue. Hey, Sean.
Hello. Yeah, so I love earth caches. I have an earth cache sweatshirt. I know many of the earth cache reviewers, and I have 17 that I own, and then I've hidden other ones and given them off to other people. And we have like an annual event. We live in West Michigan, that's been happening with our local geocaching organization that I teach the last 2 years. I taught people how to hide earth caches and then give one away to those who come to learn how to do it. And I understand where Vince is coming from, and plenty of others that we have. I won't say who they are, but we have one of those stickler earth cache COs that like you have to give them exactly what they're looking for. But for me, like for the most part, if you try on my earth cache, I'm going to let you log it. Like, and if you want to know, if you and this is where Melissa, I'm going to say like I always respond. Everybody who logs one of my earth caches, I will send you a response. And usually, if it's the first time, I have like an earth cache geocoin. And so I say, thanks for logging my earth cache. You can discover my earth cache geocoin, to like say thanks. So otherwise, I just say if they've logged other ones in the past, I just say thanks for finding one of my earth caches. But most people, in my experience, don't actually care if their answers are right. So if I do, like early on, I would correct them, and they were just like, okay, whatever. And so that's why I say thanks for logging my earth cache. And if people really do want to know, I'd be happy to tell them like what they got wrong or what they didn't. But as to Scott's point, like I try to make them more simple if I can. But the truth is like because I love Earth caches, I will hide difficult Earth caches. So if you want a D5 Earth cache, I've hidden one, but it's just like a D5 puzzle. You're not going to solve it in 10 minutes. So if you expect to find my D5 Earth cache, it's going to take you an hour and a half. It is because it's a ton of work because it's a D5, and so I'll send that in the chat if people want to look at it. And I have a couple other ones. I have a D4.5 that you have to visit 4 sites and you have to answer a lot of questions because it's a D4.5. But I also have my most favorite appointed one is in Glacier National Park. And so I'll send that one in the chat a second too. And that one is, I think, super easy. You just have to look at the rocks and describe the colors and then talk about why they're different colors. And in the description, it tells you clearly why they're different colors. And yet I have people that I don't know, and like they give like no effort. And so, I get both sides of it. It's interesting. I still hide them. I still love them, but I think you can make things super simple to Scott's point, and it still won't make a difference that people will still be like, oh, this is too hard. So you can't please everybody.
Oh yeah, true. And it's a lot like people and the mystery puzzle caches. You just run into them that, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. It's not their thing, not their jam. Until maybe they might try or learn a few. Same with Earth caches.
I'm totally cool with that. If people don't want to find my Earth caches, I'm a-okay with that. Vince skips them and I can live with it.
Well, I had to take a look at your one at
Glacier
because I've done a few Earth caches in Glacier when I was there, but you hid yours much later than when I was there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have family nearby.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful location if nothing else. So
yep.
I imagine so. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us
Sean.
tonight. Yeah, good information. It was Chris next, but Scott, did you have something to interject, or should we go to Chris? Nope. Okay.
All right.
Chris, yeah, I can see you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, wasn't on the mic there. So this is a good follow-up to Sean if he's made a lot of Earth caches and given them away. I'm wondering if anybody knows what's going on with Terry Dad. And before you guys answer that, part of the reason I'm asking that, he was friends with Gary, GeoAware1, the Australian guy who placed the first Earth cache. He was the education director for GSA and created Earth caches with geocaching as part of his job. And when he retired, Matt, the guy Rock Chalk interviewed in the interview that Scott had referenced, the most recent geocaching HQ, Inside HQ, that podcast. But Matt took over from him. Matt Dawson is his name. I forget what his caching name is. He's not as big a cacher as Gary was. But anyways, Terry was good friends with Gary. Terry and Jerry. Anyways, Gary had him make a bunch of Earth caches and he was just trying to help out, but he gave them away to everybody. He does still have a few under his account. And I ran into one of them not that long ago, and I was surprised. He has not logged into his account. It's been almost 2 years. So with the moratorium, if the Earth cache owner is not active, it's like I can see a bunch of Earth caches getting wiped out, because I did actually look at his account when I discovered that, and he probably still owns like 150 Earth caches. So does anybody know what the deal is? Is he just not caching? Go for it, Scott.
Terry Dad's actually a good friend of mine. He's
okay. I'm going to shut up and take over, Scott.
But he was really geocaching a lot with his daughters, and they grew out of geocaching, and he kind of got out of geocaching. So I haven't seen him for a lot of years. But yeah, but you're right. And he was a great Earth cache hider because he was. He wrote them well. They were understandable. He always answered. Yeah, but he just kind of got out of geocaching.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then the fact that he was a geologist made it all the nicer.
Yeah.
But,
If you actually know him, tell him to log in so
I-
that his Earth caches don't get
I
archived.
I will do that.
And just on a side note, how so I see new cachers, right, that have obviously, you know, they found one of my hides, logged it. So I checked their profile and they haven't logged in. So they're just working off the phone.
Yeah.
So if a Earth cache hider gets modern and just works off a phone for a year, they're in jeopardy of having their.
I think Groundspeak can know who's actually using their website.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Groundspeak did send an email and to all of them saying, would you please, you know, we've noticed that you have not been active for 5
Been
years.
active,
Would
yeah.
you just I don't think they needed to do a needs maintenance, or it was something like that. You know, they just had to put a an owner's maintenance note on and then then they were safe. So yeah, but yeah, and the two of the ones that I got to revise and revive and revise were Terry dads that he had adopted out. He had so many that years ago he you know, said, hey, anybody want to adopt any of mine? And I actually have two in Yellowstone, and I'm not the picky guy in Yellowstone. Have two in Yellowstone that I got from Terry Dad.
Mhm.
But the reason I raised my hand is one of the things I like about them is when they require interaction. You know, if they require you to, you know, measure the temperature. If they provide a thermometer, fantastic. If they'll just accept, hey, this is cool, this is warm, this is hot, or whatever.
Mhm.
Kind of, I'm gonna share screen here again, hopefully. So this is one of my Earth caches that is showing jetties. We have jetties in our jetties in Southern California. They catch the literal drift of the ocean and most of the time they go from north to south. The sand moves from north to south. This is a unique jetty here in that it's catching sand from the south to the north. So
Huh.
so that was what the Earth cache is about. Let me stop sharing and then reshare. Whoops.
That's
Does anybody else have so much trouble with sharing screens? Oh, let's see.
Sometimes, yeah. And Zoom
Oops.
keeps changing things too.
Yeah, they keep changing things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I apparently have closed the screen that had the
Oh.
Earth cache on it. But what I did is in your log, what you're going to show me is you're going to measure the distance from this point to the water on the north side. You're going to measure the distance from that on the south side. And then you're going to look at the wave pattern and you're going to tell, do you think today that when you're there is the sand moving to the south or is the sand moving to the north? And they actually put that in their log. And that has given me the opportunity to have a running description of what the sand is doing down there. So I don't know. I'm proud of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like those Earth caches where the answers are wanted in the log, so I can read the logs, and now I feel like I'm going to be casting the final deciding vote here.
See the other people.
Yes, so you're interacting with other people as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I wonder for first cache owners, especially active Earth cache owners that have very old Earth caches, it seems that over time, us geocachers have become fast and loose with the rules. So the requirements are answer these questions, send me the answers. When I give you the okay, log your cache, log the find.
Yeah.
And we've just sort of taken over. Well, I've sent my answers, so I'm logging.
Mhm.
And if you don't like it, delete it, or something like that. And
Mhm.
one of our recent trips, I think it was our Alaska trip, that was a rule. Send me your answers and I'll get back to you. And I wait. And I waited 3 days. I said, well, this person must not be active, so I logged. And then I get a note from him. Says, hey, you got to give me your answers before you log. And I said, well, you might want to look at your
email.
And they come back, oops, sorry.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just I think that would probably irritate me the most of people not following those instructions, especially if I'm diligent.
Mhm.
Okay, here comes an answer, and I get back to you. And I've done it time after time. People just say, well, I've sent my answers and I've logged it,
Mhm. Yeah.
But I guess maybe that's just me.
Mhm. I would, as a hider, I would want my caches to be as low maintenance as possible, but also I definitely can see for a lot of other hiders that want to be sure that the
Mhm.
correct answers are there before they can log it. So as we've got another hand, Sean,
yeah.
back again.
I wanted to address the answers. Like, I'm fine. People, they can log it whenever. I mean, obviously, I want their answers, but my cache in Glacier, for whatever reason, and I have no idea, and I put it on the cache page. People can log it from Glacier, but sending the answers, it doesn't seem to go through as well in the messenger system on the geocaching app, and I have no idea why. And so I say right on the page, please make sure your answers go through. And you would not believe how many people I have to message saying, sorry, your answers didn't come through because they really didn't. And I'm a little bit anal, and so I have like a Google Doc of everybody who has found my caches and what date they sent the answers and what day they log it for this very reason. And with my Glacier cache being the one that gets found the most often, it's also the one that answers come through the least, even though it's one of my easiest, just because of the location of Glacier and how the geocaching app works. And so I'm constantly hounding people, please send your answers in. Oh, I sent them already. Well, they're not there. And then they would check, and sure enough, they weren't there, even though they had sent them. And I'm not saying, you guys didn't do that, but it's just like, oh man, which is one of the reasons I'm glad that it's super easy, because it's like, oh, I can definitely go back and answer those questions. It's not hard to. It's not one of those ones that you need a PhD for. But I kid you not, probably every other person who logs my cache, the answers do not come through for some reason from Glacier. So.
Huh.
Yeah, it's bad connectivity. Yeah, you think something happens, but it really doesn't. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Well,
Thank you
as
for that.
well, I know, especially on the older existing Earth caches, uh, it is, email me the answer, because the messaging system wasn't really there when this cache went out.
Mhm.
And that's what I do. I'll email them. Maybe if that's the instruction, that's what I do, because perhaps the owner isn't into the messaging system, doesn't
Yeah,
know how it works, and so on and so forth. And
may have signed up with a different email even.
exactly. Well, I don't
likely.
know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But there's been a lot of good comments in the chat.
Mhm.
Mike had mentioned that any cache that is, you moved off it for me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
A text wall, regardless if it's an Earth cache or not, can be a turn off all its own. And that's very true. That's very true.
Mhm.
And then the flip side of that, if that word wall is very interesting and well written, then it's worth the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Dr. Paul says, send a reviewer a note, sort of like, I am thinking of doing it this way. Any suggestions? And he said this effort has helped with his GSA reviewer. Yeah. And then John Summerdorf has a really good point that is, we've all run into it. There's only 4 answers to this question, or 4 answers to this Earth cache, but then each answer has 4 sub questions. And so
interest, yeah.
Yeah, it gets okay. Yeah, I didn't want to learn that much, but
I was taking an elective, not a graduate course. Yeah.
but I will say this, and then we'll let Vince back on. It was actually due to earth caching that in our area where we live, the geology is heavily influenced by the ice age and what is known as Glacier Lake Missoula. And I'm oblivious to this fact until I start geocaching and went to the Dry Falls, where there's it's huge, it's a plunge pool, of when the ice dams would break and the water would flow, from Canada to the Pacific Ocean. Just fascinating stuff, just absolutely fascinating. And so that particular Earth cache really opened up something that I was very interested in. But I find there's other aspects of the Earth that I just, this mountain range was formed, and that's really all I need to know. I don't need to know how. It's just there.
Yeah.
And so that part's not hugely exciting to me. So I'd certainly enjoy those Earth caches that are on the simpler side for the topics that just don't catch my fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Vince?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to take this time though to thank Sean because he has been very instrumental in helping a lot of us West Michigan folks be able to easily get the Earth Cache Day souvenir, which is coming up because I actually got another one of his that's about 2 miles from me where I live that I left purposely in the bank for that reason. And really his are not that difficult. He just, all he just asks you is to give it the old college try, but I always throw a picture up, for good measure. I did one of his last year for the Earth Cache Day souvenir that was only 10 miles away because yes, he has put out several in this area, which that's really helped a lot of us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Vince. Excuse me, losing my voice all of a sudden.
Yeah. Quick, you better say something about pet check.
Yeah. So I think it is pet check time. So thanks, Jim, for mentioning that. I've seen a couple of them already coming through. I saw Megan's, one of her kitties, earlier, and Jeffrey's got a gorgeous looking tabby there. Yeah. And Jim's got the cat. Oh, Sean.
Oh, Jim's got Zoe tonight.
This is Zoe. Yeah.
Look at John's pooch.
Yeah, what a cutie. Hilo is still with us. He's upstairs, I think. He's going deaf, we've come to realize. So let me give him a holler. Talk amongst yourselves.
Maybe I'm going deaf. Yeah, so and John Summerdorf just mentioned in the chat that he loves Earth caches, but he's not looking to earn a PhD. And I think the consensus is, most of us, I would say the 80-20 rule. 20% of the cachers want the PhD experience. 80% don't. Come on.
More like 90-10, but yes. Come on, buddy. Come on. There we go.
Hey.
He put himself to bed. Wake him up. Stuff being 16.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So this is Hilo. Oh my goodness. I think he's gonna fall right back to sleep again. Yeah.
Well, I think drinks are full price.
Oh, sorry guys. They are full price now. Darn it all. Well, all of you all that are in the path of Helene and other crazy weather and forest fires and such, please be safe out there. And for all of us that are traveling to Rome, I'm super excited to see you all in person. We will have a booth. We'll be set up Friday evening on site and most of the day on Saturday. So please come on by and say hi. And I'd love to see you all there. And I've got two things that we're sponsored by tonight. Oh, hello.
And you need me to.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Ken, awesome. I see a little Bella there.
There we go.
And Megan's back with her cat. Right. So, the Cashkins Club is open. We have spots available there. That would be found at cashcrate.com. Let me just type that in here, cashcrate.com. It's $7 a month. That's all it is. That includes postage in the US. Sorry, my down under friends. It's only in the US since we send it via just a first class envelope. But yeah, we definitely have openings and we'll be shipping those out on Monday. And everybody that signs up this weekend, you're going to get a free mystery sticker included in your mailer.
Well, what is it?
It's a mystery.
Oh,
It's a
geez.
mystery. Yeah.
I fell for it.
Yeah.
Set them up, knock them down.
Thank you. Yeah. So if you're on our email list, you'll probably be receiving a couple of emails as well from us. And want to thank all of you that are already in the Cashkins Club. It's a fun one to put together for, and we really enjoyed getting it out every month. And that one is a little different than the others. It goes out the very first week of every month. So we will be shipping that early next week before we head out to Rome. And then all of our other memberships, they go out towards the end of the month.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to wait till we get back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I have some exciting news, guys. Maybe you've seen, I've been working on an actual podcast. It is the Cash Like a Girl podcast. And I'm just putting it, there we are, into the chat here. I have our trailer is already out. So you can view it on YouTube. It's also available just audio only on all of the other podcast players. So fire up your favorite podcast player and just search for Cash Like a Girl. Go ahead and subscribe and we'll be getting more episodes out. This is just our trailer while we're warming up. I did an interview yesterday that went really well. And we'll be doing some more interviews. So we'll actually be dropping probably about 3 different episodes. And it will be series based. It's not going to be like Mappy Hour where we get together every 2 weeks or such. It'll be they'll be coming up as they come up because I'm kind of busy. And I also want to keep doing Mappy Hour, of course, too. So take a listen. It's like a minute, not even a minute long, I don't think, for the trailer. And then, yeah, so go ahead and subscribe. And if you watch it on YouTube, it's video. So all of the Cash Like a Girl episodes, we do plan to have them to be video based as well. But you can also just catch the audio on your favorite player. So yeah, check it out. Give us a thumbs up. Love to have any reviews if you enjoy that. And definitely looking forward to all the
Welcome to the
Sure.
Cash Like a Girl
It's
podcast.
you.
Oh, someone's playing
you.
it. Yeah. Someone's playing it already. Awesome. So yeah, I'm super excited about all of the folks that I will be interviewing on the Cash Like a Girl podcast.
So
and if you want to be on it, let me know.
Is everyone you're going to interview going to be a girl?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We welcome allies as well, for sure.
So
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey's got it going.
Thank you.
So
Awesome.
so just a little insider tip. I was actually the first interview and apparently didn't make the cut. So
Oh,
it got the boring button. Boring.
you're my test subject.
Oh, that's right, test subject.
Learning new software, lots of new tech to learn. Scott, did you have something to say?
Can I share the 1 minute trailer?
Sure.
All right.
Yes, Megan, finally.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully it'll work.
Hey there, geocachers and adventure seekers. Welcome to the Cache Like a Girl podcast, where we celebrate the thrill of geocaching through the eyes of incredible women in the game. In this podcast, we'll dive into inspiring stories and fun interviews with women cachers who are making their mark on the map. Whether you're new or a seasoned cacher, this podcast is for you. So if you're ready to take your caching journey to the next level, hit subscribe and get ready to explore the world of geocaching like never before. Join me, Lookout Lisa, and let's make some unforgettable discoveries together.
Thanks, Scott.
Awesome.
Nicely done, Lisa. Great trailer.
Well, thank you. Yeah. The music didn't come through to me on Zoom, but there is also music in the background. Yeah. So
Did your talking come through?
Yep.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the important part came through.
Yeah, it sure did.
Very good.
Probably just a Zoom thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I learned a lot just putting that particular trailer together. To me on Zoom, but there is also music in
No.
No. Coming through on somebody else's speaker. There we are. So yeah, give it a listen. Stay tuned. If you go to cashelikeagirl.com. I'm sending you guys everywhere. Appreciate your patience here. Cashelikeagirl.com. Oh, I think I need to put the www there. Maybe. That is our website for the podcast. And there is a form that you can just give me your email, and that puts you on a special list just for folks that are interested in the Cache Like a Girl podcast. So if you like to get updates behind the scenes, that sort of thing. Oh, Megan, you found it on Spotify. Yes. We're already
Nice.
on Apple Podcasts too. So I was thrilled to get in so quickly on Apple. And definitely on Spotify too. So cool. Well, thanks, guys. Enjoy that. We'll be getting more out again after going caching, including Andy from Going Caching has also agreed to be interviewed, but not till she's done. Give her a
Yeah.
little time to catch her breath. Well, great. Well, everybody have a fantastic weekend coming up. Stay safe, keep on caching, enjoy yourselves, and those of us traveling, looking forward to seeing you all in person next week. We get in Wednesday night, kind of late. So if you're there Thursday, picking up packets, we'll be helping you out. We're actually volunteering Thursday morning at package registration pickup.
So if
we'll
you
see about-
forgot to register for package pickup, come see me. I'll give you somebody else's.
Maybe figure something out.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, everybody keep on caching, and we'll see you all, some of you next week, but the rest of you in
Week
2
after, yeah.
weeks. Yeah, same cache time, same cache channel. Take care, everybody. Good night.